and it is going to trigger a browser session. As you can see, Chromium is started. I'm not doing anything, and it is going to search for iPhone 15 Pro and Samsung S23. As you can see, it is detecting, and it is going to compare these two phone models for me, bring the data and present that data in the form of a markdown to me. And this is going to be a cool project, and we're going to use OpenAI Agent SDK, which just got launched like a week ago. We're going to use Maxim AI for observability so that we can track our traces, logs. So that is going to be super helpful for you if you're building a production agent. And we're going to use browser use, which is a YC startup, and it just enables AI to kick off browser sessions and gather the information from the browser sessions. It has done the process, and it is now going to present a markdown to me. So if I just check out the comparison.md, you can see this is the complete markdown that it has created, and it is great. This is going to be a cool project. You're going to learn to create basic agent using Agent SDK, creating a tool using browser use so that it can kick off browser sessions. Then you're going to integrate Maxim for observability and logs. So overall, a cool project for someone who is a beginner in the agentic space, and if you want to build a unique project to impress someone. So let's get started. And before we start, I have created a Discord server for us so that you can ask doubts, you can communicate with me. We have a questions channel, we have opportunities channel, showcase channel, fun channel, resources, announcements. Recently, I've started putting all of my resources in this channel itself. People are asking questions, and this is going to be great. Like, we can have a great conversations over here. So do check this out, the link in the description, and the link of this complete code that I'm going to teach in this video is also in the description. And okay, now let's get started for real. As you can see on my screen, this is a high level architecture diagram of what we are going to build. As I told that we are going to use Agent SDK by OpenAI. So first of all, our user is there, which is going to send a query to our agent, and that agent is built using the Agent SDK. As you can see, in our system, we will have a triage agent. Triage agent, you can understand like a supervisor agent, which is programmed in such a way that it has intelligence to take decision of which agent can do which task. Let's say in our agentic system, we have a research agent, we have a content curator agent, and we have a writer agent, right? So there will be one more agent which will be called this triage agent, which will make decisions at every point of time that, hey, research task should be given to research agent, writing task should be given to a writer agent, and content creation task should be given to a content creator agent, right? So this triage agent acts as a supervisor. Okay, so we will have a triage agent, although like we only have one agent in our system, so there is not much intelligence required to make a decision. But I am teaching you this so that even if tomorrow you want to build a better agent or a big agent, then you should be able to do it on your own. So that's why I'm teaching you this concept of triage agent also. So there will be a user which will send a query. So as I told, we are going to build a product comparison agent, which will take two products from the user. So query will have the two product names, and our agent will be able to go to the internet using your browser itself. It will kick off a browser session, and it will be able to search about those two products. So triage agent is connected to another agent, which is browser use agent. So this agent will have a tool connected to this agent, which will be local browser. And for this, we are going to use browser use. So if you use browser use comes with its own agent class, browser use agent, right? And that can be provided this tool call of kicking off a local browser and searching and clicking and everything, right? End to end is handled by browser use itself. And this browser use agent, as you know, that agent needs to be given some intelligence. So for that purpose, we are going to use Gemini Flash because it has a very good context window and it understands vision. So that's why we are going to use Gemini Flash LLM. Okay, but for our triage agent to make decisions and maybe like create a readme file, create a markdown file that we're going to do at the end, that will be for that intelligence we are going to use GPT-4o. Okay, so this is our whole system, and at the end the user is given a final report of the comparison in markdown format. And we are also going to log, because I'm teaching you for production use case. Like if you want to build this agent for production, you will definitely have to integrate tracing and logs and observation in your system. So for that, we're going to use Maxim. Okay, so Maxim is a platform which excels in agent evaluation, observability, and tracing. And I work there. So that's why I thought to integrate Maxim itself in this whole agentic system. so that you know like what exactly we do over here. Okay, so this is a whole high level architecture that we're going to build. Now let's go to my terminal. So I'm using warp terminal, if you think whichever terminal I'm using. So I'm using WARP warp terminal. It's beautiful, that's why I just love it. And I'm in sample folder. And over here you can also see that I've created a Git repository. So I'll directly copy this and try to clone it in the sample folder itself. So git clone. And this is an empty repository, nothing is there inside it, and I'm going to go inside this folder. Now as soon as I go inside this folder, I need to create a virtual environment so that I can work in that environment. I can install some libraries. I need to install Agent SDK. I need to install Playwright, because browser uses Playwright under the hood to kick off a browser session. So for that purpose, I'm going to create a virtual environment. So Python -m venv, and I'm going to call it venv. So virtual environment is created. Now let's just activate it. So this is going to activate it. So this warp terminal actually comes with LLM integrated. So Claude Sonnet 3.7 you can use on its own. So that's why it is giving me the suggestions, and it is really helpful. You should use it. And let's just create a requirements.txt file, and we don't have it, so I cannot install via requirements.txt file. Next thing that I need to do is I need to install Agent SDK. So let's search for Agent SDK PyPy package. Agent SDK OpenAI PyPy. Let's go on the documentation, and if I go to quick start, yes, we did this. Pip install OpenAI agent. So this is the command. So let me just copy this and paste it over here. Awesome. So it has installed Agent SDK by OpenAI. Now we need to install browser use. So install, this is browser use. So let's just copy this. Great. So we have installed browser use also. Next thing that we need to install is LangChain, because we need to work with Gemini, and to access the Gemini model, we can use LangChain. And for that, you can directly say pip install LangChain. So let's just do that. Pip install LangChain, and LangChain core also we might need it. Pip install LangChain core. Is it like this? Okay, it's already installed. Okay, so now I think we have installed some good packages that we needed. One more thing that we are going to need is .env, so that I can access my environment file. Pip install .env. Great, it's there. Now I am using cursor IDE. Let's just open this folder. So I can say cursor dot, as you do code dot in for VS Code, you can use cursor dot to open up cursor. Great. So over here my project folder is ready. One thing I need to do is, if I just say dot git, and I need to also create .env. I don't want to push these two folders and files on GitHub, so I can say .env, and I can say venv /. Great. So these two are ignored now. Now I need to create main.py file, and in the env I'm going to add Gemini API key, because we're going to use Gemini. We are going to need OpenAI API key. So Gemini API key you're going to put over here, and OpenAI API key you're going to put over here, right? So I'm not going to show you the exact keys, but as soon as you're going to put it, it is going to look something like this. Okay, so I'm going to paste them right now, and then I'll go back to my main.py. Okay, so my environment file is ready. Now I can start writing the code. So first of all, I am going to write down the imports that I'm going to need. So first of all, I have imported annotations. I'm going to we have to run this script asynchronously. So for that, we are going to need async IO. We need OS so that we can access our environment file. From Pydantic, I'm going to import base model and field. In just a second, you will see what's the importance of this. And we are also going to need secret string. And the purpose of this also you will understand in a bit. Then I need to work with LangChain Google Gen AI. So this package also we are going to install. So pip install LangChain Google Gen AI. So this is done. And from this package, we are going to work with Chat Google Generative AI, right? And yes, we need to load our environment file. So I'm going to say load.env. And now we need to start importing some classes from the Agent SDK. So from Agent SDK, I've imported agent, run context wrapper. This is basically going to access the context. And what is context, I'm going to explain in a bit. Runner is going to run your agent and add trace processor. As I told, we're going to use Maxim to push your traces to the Maxim dashboard. For that, you need to import add trace processor so that you can push the traces from Agent SDK to Maxim or any third-party traces provider. Function tool, this will act as a decorator on top of our function tool. You will understand in a bit. And this is going to take input from the user. Next, we need to import browser use. So from browser use, I've imported agent. So agent is present in browser use also, and it is present in Agent SDK. So one of them I have to rename. So I renamed agent from browser use as browser agent. Okay. Now let's just create context. So I'm going to say context. So what is context? So basically, context is going to maintain or persist the memory for your agent. Let's say a user said, hey, compare iPhone 15 Pro versus Samsung S23. So these two inputs are acting as an input, like these two are the inputs for the agent, right? So for the whole session, these two inputs should be maintained in the memory so that agent, whenever the agent is making a decision or triage agent is handing over some task to some other agent, so this state, this memory should also be transferred to the other agent, right? So we need, for the whole session for this agent, this memory needs to be persisted. And for that, I'm going to create a model class, basically a class in Python, which is going to have some variables. And as soon as we are going to get some data from the user or the agent did some task and got some data, that data will be updated in this class. And this class will be global class and it will be maintained across the agent throughout the session, basically. So this is the class, basically. We are going to create a mobile comparison agent, basically, which can compare two mobile models, let's say S23, Samsung S23 versus iPhone 15 Pro. So for that purpose, I created a class, and for this purpose itself, I had to import base model so that it becomes a pydantic model, right? It is inheriting from the base model. Now, in my agent, I'm going to have two products. So you can, if you are creating a global product comparison agent, then you can call it as product one, and you can call it as product two. Then product one feature data, product two feature data, and then comparison markdown, the final output. But because I'm more focused on making this agent as a phone comparison agent itself, so phone model 1 and phone model 2. And for this purpose, so that we can define a default value and description for this field, we need to import field from the pydantic. That's why I imported field from pydantic, right? So model 1, model 2, that means phone 1, phone 2, then phone 1 features, phone 2 features, and the final output. So this is my context. Next thing that we need is to define the tools. So I'll say tools, and after that we will be defining the agents, and then I'm going to define the runner, in which we are going to trigger the agent SDK agent that we are building right now. Okay, so tools. So now I need to define the tools, and for our agent, which is a very simple agent that I'm building over here, we only have one tool, right? The tool that triggers the browser session. For that, we are going to use browser agent, right? So this is my tool function, and let's understand it line by line. So first of all, I defined a decorator using function tool, which is coming from the agent SDK itself, right? Agent SDK itself. This decorator basically shows that the function that is written below is going to act as a tool for my agent. The name of this tool is online search, and the description of this agent is searches online for phone model features and specifications. Okay. And this is the actual implementation of this tool, which is the online search. Same name you have to keep. Context. So as you can see, I'm using run context wrapper, which is again coming from the agent SDK. And the class that is my context is this mobile comparison context, right? So same name. Then the query. So this query will not come from the user. This query will come from the agent, right? So agent is going to use this tool. So coming back to our diagram, this is the agent, browser use agent. And this is going to trigger this tool, right? And this browser agent itself is going to pass a query. So for first phone model, it will say, hey, search about iPhone 15 Pro. For second tool call, it will say, hey, search about Samsung S23. Okay. So this query will come from the agent itself. And then we need the API key of Gemini. So we have already kept it in the environment file. Then the LLM. So you need API key, you need LLM. So LLM you can define over here. We're going to use Gemini 2.0 Flash model, and this will be the API key. So to get the API key, that's why we imported secret string. And then you need to define the agent. So this agent is the browser use agent. What is browser use? This is browser use. This is browser use. It is YC company, and they basically enable AI to control your browser. That means AI, that means an AI agent will get access to kicking off browser sessions using Chromium, using Playwright, or like you can have your own custom implementation also if you are if you have knowledge of like kicking off such sessions, you can do that. But basically browser use makes it very easy to handle browser sessions which are enabled by AI. Okay, so this is what browser use does, and we need to define a new session for the browser for every new browser session. So that's a new instance of browser. That's it. And this is the task: find detailed specifications and features of the query which will be provided by the agent and return structured data. Okay, so this is the task for this browser agent. Okay, and this will automatically have the tool for triggering browser sessions. And then agent.run. So I'm running this browser agent, and all the data that I'm going to get from this agent will be stored in the history. As soon as my history gets populated, I'm going to check if my phone model 1 is empty. Basically there should be features, phone model 1 features. If they are empty, then I'm going to put that data in phone model 1 features. If otherwise, that means if my phone model 1 features are already populated, then I'm going to populate this data in feature 2, phone model 2 features, right? And history.extracted content will have all the content that it extracted through the browser session, right? And I'm just going to print it and return this extracted content. So this is my tool call, right? Which is having another agent inside it. Okay. So, and yes, you can also check our video on Agent SDK using computer use, right? Where we were using, so over here, what is happening? We are using LangChain and we were using Gemini and browser use, but OpenAI also has an agent which can handle all of this on its own using GPT-4o, right? So that is called computer use agent. Computer use agent OpenAI, right? Computer use agent. So OpenAI has already released this, and we already have a video on this. So I'll show you in just a minute. So this is computer use agent. Okay. So which does the same thing that we are doing using Gemini and browser use as a custom solution, right? But if you check our video, so this is the video, computer use agent. So where I have made the same agent, product comparison agent itself, but using OpenAI's computer use agent, where you do not have to use Gemini, you do not have to use browser use. Okay, you can use OpenAI's custom solution itself. Okay, getting back. So this was our tool call. Now we need to define our agents. So we are going to have two agents. So in this agents, what I did, online search agent, which will have access to this tool which we created, the browser use tool basically, and this will be the name, online search agent. Handoff description, an agent that searches for phone specifications online. This is the instructions for this agent. You are an online search agent. Your goal is to fetch detailed specifications for a phone model. This is the routine for this agent. Use the online search tool to get specifications for the given phone model. Save the retrieved information in the context. Okay, and this is what this tool does. And this we need to provide access of this tool to this agent. So online search tool is provided to this agent. Second agent is a triage agent. So basically, if I go back to my diagram, we created this agent, right? And now we are creating this triage agent. Okay, triage agent, an agent that delegates tasks to other correct sub-agents. You are a triage agent. Your goal is to coordinate the process of phone model comparison. You have to delegate tasks to the online search agent. Sequence: receive the two phone models from the user, hand off the first phone model to the online search agent, hand off the second phone model to the online search agent, and return the proper comparison in table form in markdown format string. Okay, great. And handoff. So basically, if you are making a very big agent which has like 100 agents under it, so in that case, you have to provide all the 100 agent instances in this handoffs parameter. So now we have created our agents also. Now let's create the runner, and we will be then ready to run our agent after integrating maximum observability. So for runner, this is my main function. You have to create a main function, define or create an instance of your context class, define the phone model 1. These two things can come from the user itself. So if I just say phone 1 is equal to input, enter the phone model 1, and then for this one I can say enter the phone model, so input, enter the phone model 2. Okay, so now these two inputs will come from the user itself. Update your context, and then your input items, right, will be a T response input item, and this will be your input item. Content will be phone model 1 versus phone model 2, and role for this input will be user, because this is an input from the user, not from an agent. And then you say result, which is a variable, and whatever the output from this runner.run, it is going to trigger your agent, and agent is triage agent, which has access to the sub agents, right? Input items will be this, and context will be the instance that you created. And then you can say print my final output, and then whatever markdown that you have received, push that, create a new file in your folder system and push that markdown in that file. Okay, and then using async io.run main, because we are using await and all of this is going to take some time, that's why we're going to use async io for this purpose. Okay, great. So our agent is now ready. Now we need to track what is happening by our agent, like what our agent is doing. Now it is calling triage agent, now it is calling this tool call. So how will we know in the production use case, right? Because once your agent is live and users are using it, you need to know if users are facing any bug. How will you track those bugs? How will you track the routine, if the agent is following the correct routine or not, right? So for that purpose, we're going to use Maxim. So let's log into getmaxim.ai, and over here on the dashboard, go to logs and create a repository. Let's call this as phone comparison, and let's click on create. Yes, we are using Python. Setup logger, so continue. So you need to install MaximPy, so let's just copy it, paste it in the terminal. And you can also check out the cookbooks. You can check this cookbook. Basically, like in Maxim, we created a customer support agent, and in that agent we actually added Maxim observability. So you can just copy the code from here also. So if you just scroll down, you can see initializing Maxim SDK. So let's just copy this code itself and paste the Maxim imports over here. And then we need to initialize a logger. So let's at the top itself, or over here you can say paste it. So it will automatically fetch the Maxim. So two things you need to do over here. In the environment file, you need to add Maxim API key, and then you need to add Maxim log repository ID. If you check the cookbook in the environment.example, just like this, log repository ID and Maxim API key. So let's just copy this, and I'm going to put it in my environment file, and then I'm going to paste my API key, Maxim API key and log repository ID. So Maxim API key I'm going to get from my Maxim dashboard. So you can get the Maxim API key from the settings, and this is the log repository ID, which this is saying, and you can see Maxim is waiting for initialization. So as soon as you run your script, it will automatically get initialized and you will start receiving your logs. So let's just copy it and paste it over here, and I'm going to paste my Maxim API key also in just 1 second. Great. So I've put Maxim API key and Maxim log repository ID also. That's it. Nothing else you need to do. We are all set to run our agent now. So let's go to the terminal and let's say python main.py. So it is giving me an issue Maxim log repo ID. So this is the actual key. So I'm going to go in my environment file, and instead of log repository ID, I'm going to say Maxim log repo ID. So just a key change we need to do. Maybe there was an update from Maxim. So let's just do this. So I've done that, and now let's just clear and say python main.py again. So you can see it is asking me to put the first phone model 1. But before that, let's see our Maxim platform if my log repository is initialized or not. So you can see logger successfully initialized. Now let's start logging data, and that's it. Let's continue and let's continue and go to the logs. So we are going to start getting the logs as soon as our agent start pushing the logs to Maxim. So now let's enter the phone model 1. So I'm going to compare 15 Pro versus Samsung S23. You can see our agent has triggered a browser session, and it has opened like Chromium, and it is searching iPhone 15 Pro. It is going on GSM Arena website. It's a very famous website for comparing phones and electronics. And now it is detecting the information on this website, Make sure that you also block the ads, because sometimes if the ad is of phone, then your agent will start clicking on that ad itself and it might go in infinite loop. But over here you can see that it is detecting. Now it has come to Samsung S23 GSM Arena page. So it is like scraping the information from iPhone 15 and Samsung S23, and it is going to compare these two phones for me and put all of that information in a readme file, in a markdown file. So now you can see that it has captured all of that information. All of this information is gathered, and it has created a final readme file. So if I check out my folder comparison.md, you can see this is a beautiful readme. If you want to visualize it, this is the readme that we have got, or markdown we have got. Network, launch, body, display, platform, memory, main camera, selfie camera, sound. Then for Samsung, the same features. I mean, amazing. Like, this model just went ahead, opened browser, and brought information for me. So this is a very simple agent that we have created. Now let's check Maxim. So you can see we have started getting the logs also. Agent workflow. Let's see triage agent. So in the triage agent, if you just open it up, response. So this was the tool call that happened, handoff to the online search agent. So basically triage agent initialized or triggered the online search agent, and you can see the user input, iPhone 15 versus Samsung, then the system prompt, and all the outputs that we are getting, raw response that we got. And this was a handoff from triage agent to online search agent. So you can also see the handoffs that are happening. Then for an online search agent, we can see the tool calls, online search tool call that happened. iPhone 15, this was the query for this tool call, and this was a query for the first tool call, then the second tool call, and then the final response. Okay, so overall, this was a cool project that you can build on your own, especially if you're a beginner and in this agentic space and you want to just build something cool to impress someone, then this is actually a cool project. Now, what I want from you is don't build the same agent, build something new, build something unique, and tag us, tag me and tag Maxim on LinkedIn when you post about your agent, and we'll be happy to feature you. So yeah, I think that's it. Till the next video, keep coding, keep innovating, and thanks a lot.